youth empowerment and what it means for Pakistan. As you will be aware that more than 60% of the population in Pakistan is under the age of 30, and Pakistan has one of the biggest youth bulges or the youth bulge as it's referred to in the world, which in itself has both a lot of positives and some negatives as well. So, in terms of positives, of course, this constitutes a huge workforce, given that Pakistan's population is now touching 200 million, and 60% of that is well over 100 million. And if that is young and energetic, then this can be a huge resource for economic growth, and it can be a huge economic resource on which the country can build upon. However, on the other hand, if this huge percentage of the population is not educated enough, or does not have much to do not have employments, or do not have opportunities to carry on contributing to the economy of the country, then this can also be a huge burden, which can lead to a number of social problems, which result due to massive unemployment and with a large number of people to feed with very little economic activity. So, if we see in the past, there has not been enough attention to the youth issues, and towards educating them and creating in them a sense of responsibility. And also it is very important to make youth aware of the social, economic and political issues that have plagued the country, the history of our country. So, it has been for the first time that the youth in Pakistan seems to be increasingly getting more aware of their role in the society, and they have participated in a number of social spheres. Increasingly, you will see more young entrepreneurs, you will see more young people in the media, working as lawyers, working in the private sector, and also increasingly a large number of Pakistanis who have traveled abroad to study and to work. So, we even in Pakistani, even among the Pakistani diaspora overseas, all over the West, we see a large number of young Pakistanis who are very energetic and want to do something for their country. So, I think this is where this initiative, which is aimed at youth empowerment and to connect the youth, to connect the Pakistani youth within Pakistan, and also which is based abroad together, is very important. We need more youth platforms which can connect this huge untapped energy which we have among our youth, so that they can contribute to their country in an organized way, rather than doing their individual bits. Another thing which is very starking looking at the Pakistan is the talent that we have in our country. Pakistan is an immensely talented nation. The youth in Pakistan in all fields of life, whether it's in the field of sports or in education or in other fields, they have demonstrated that they have all the capabilities that are required to succeed individually. However, we have somehow not been able to translate these individual characteristics, these individual talents into an organized and cohesive sort of workforce, which can transform our economy and which can transform the social landscape in the country. So, I think it is important that more attention is paid towards these issues, For example, the education budget in Pakistan, you will be aware, is even less than 2.5% of the GDP, which is less than even the countries in South Asia, and also less than many in the sub-Saharan Africa. And I think it's shambolic to have to allocate so little amount towards the education, towards building a bright future for our future generations. And I think when one of the key issues that youth can unite itself on is to increase the allocation of budget on education, and also to improve the quality of education, because it's not only important to give education to our next generations, but it's also important that what quality of education is being imparted upon them. So there are massive reforms which are required in the curriculum. There are massive reforms which are required in the teacher training, in provision of the facilities, international linkages, so that the students in Pakistan can benefit from the latest research and the state of the art advancements in education field. So improving the quality of education is also very important. Then it's also very important that we allow networking among students in industrial countries, in successful countries. There are student unions, there are other networks, there are student organizations who speak for the rights of the students, and play an important role in making sure that the students are given due importance in their country. So I think in Pakistan as well, we need to work towards achieving such goals, setting up such organizations. And again, in this regard as well, initiatives such as the Youth Empowerment Initiative, which will be launched by Mrs. Fozia Kasuri today, is very important. I think there is now a lot of awareness in a number of political parties in Pakistan, especially led by the Pakistan Tehreek-e-Insaf, which I think was the first one to recognize this untapped potential of the youth, and to channel it in terms of creating awareness among youth to participate in the decision-making process of the country, to come up and take up the leadership roles in tackling with some of the most pressing issues that we face in Pakistan. And Pakistan Tehreek-e-Insaf has played a vital role in bringing Pakistani youth to the political mainstream. And along with that, I think there are other political parties as well. For example, the Pakistan Muslim League Nawaz, which is currently in power at the center and in Punjab, that has also, although a little bit late, but still, they have also recognized that the youth is absolutely essential for the future of Pakistan. And just a month ago, there was a package worth of 20 billion announced by the Prime Minister, focused on the youth, which, despite many disagreements, is a good step, a good step forward. And I think as soon as the different segments of the society recognize the immense opportunity that we have in developing our youth, the better it would be. But on the other hand, I think it's also essential that we recognize the downsides of having a large number of young people who, if not properly educated and if not properly skilled, then the way this world is going, the world economy is moving into a phase where knowledge is absolutely essential to compete globally and individually. So in this knowledge-based economy, it's much more important to have skilled workforce rather than just plain labor force that one might have got away with some years ago. But with this increased emphasis on the creation of knowledge and and knowledge and information as the real basis on which the economy is built, it has become that much more important that due attention is paid in instilling the requisite skills among the youth so that they can play a productive role in taking the country forward. So I think not just and that must not be just limited to the technical fields such as engineering or medicine or all these other fields in which Pakistan is already doing not that bad, but I think equal importance must be given to the fields such as social sciences and humanities. For example, things like economics, business management, entrepreneurship, politics, history, anthropology, and all of these fields which also play a very critical role in the development of a nation. Along with these, we have arts and humanities, things like music, film, things like literature. So all of these things must also be considered important, and I will encourage youth to actually follow their dreams and do what they like to do, rather than scumbling under these social pressures and just going for the traditional routes. It is very important that you follow your dreams and you choose a profession that you absolutely love doing, even if it's things like painting or creating music or things which are not generally considered very important in our society, but actually they have played a very important role in the development of human society. The European Renaissance, for example, had a very important component of the art, whether it was the paintings by Michelangelo or whether it was the writings by very important writers. The arts and the writings and the literature played a very important role in shaping the modern, progressive and advanced culture in the West that we see today. So in terms of public policy as well, I think it's very important to give equal importance to physics, chemistry, biology, medicine, engineering and all these technical fields, along with arts, humanities and social sciences. So the Pakistani youth should plan their future in a way that you set yourselves goals. And another thing what's very important is that some of you who are privileged enough to have received a very good education, I think it's incumbent upon them to realize that they have a duty to do something for the wider society. Of course, we all have the choice to work for just ourselves, and we can always excel in whichever field we choose for ourselves. We can go into banking and work for multinationals and do very well professionally, earn a lot of money and live a good life. But I think it's also important that you look at the wider society and see what you can give to the wider society. How can you make it better? How can you make this society, how can you tackle various social problems, and be open-minded about it, because I think at this stage it is not important to stick to your ideas and think that what you believe in is the only truth or the only reality, but rather you should be very open-minded about considering different points of views. You should be exploring different schools of thought. You should be looking at any phenomena, any problem from multiple perspectives, and this will only enrich you to understand a problem better. rather than, you know, just being very self-righteous and thinking that what you believe in is the only reality and the only truth, which more than often is not the case. Also, it's important that you do not limit yourself to just the curriculum which is taught to you in your schools, in your colleges, or in your universities, but I think you should read more widely. You should make more use of the libraries. You should make more use of the internet, the resources which are available online. But in that, I think you should be careful to read the sources which are authentic and which are credible, because these days a lot of people form their opinions based on what's going on in the social media and so on.